I'm sitting in the host chair today as John Arthur. He is out of town and traveling a little bit. He's with his dad, and we miss him. Hope he'll be back soon. We trust he will. But in the meantime, you've got us. Yes. Okay, that's good. That's good. No applause, just throw money. No, I'm kidding. But let me get everybody introduced here. We got a great show for you today. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. But to my right, I have my most wonderful wife, Miss Nikki.
Good morning, afternoon.
It is afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It is.
And you are looking so wonderful today.
Yeah, thank you.
People can't see you. They can only see your top. But you have a really nice long skirt on. I love that. Very nice. And to my left, I have Mr. Steve.
Yes, being absolutely politically incorrect today and going to have a absolutely wonderful day.
We are, and you're going to have a segment, Steve Shenanigans today, that I think is going to touch people's hearts. That's just me. That's just me. You'll want to stick around for it. I can assure you that will be a fun one. And Nikki has a Nikki Knows Facts today that is going to be most interesting surrounding America. We'll talk more about that in a minute. But we've got Rai, the producer guy, in the producer chair.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
We are doing wonderful. We thank you very much for doing what you do right there.
My pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ryan is going to be doing a song review today. He's going off the rails.
Me?
He's going off the rails. He is going after a country song today. Can you believe it? Yeah.
It was actually recommended that we look at this song.
And I'll tell you, it was a really interesting song. I am looking forward to chatting about that.
I can't wait to hear it.
It's going to be good. And anyway, we are going to, let me tell you a little bit about the show. I've already given you a little bit. And for those of you that are hopping on today, thank you so much for jumping in, listening, and following us. We are grateful for that. You can catch us on DLive, Vaughn, and Rumble, PSB, Patriot Soapbox. You can check that out. You can catch us on the YouTube channel, Further Every Day. That's the channel name. You can check out our past episodes. Would encourage you to do that. But we appreciate your downloads and your support to us. We are grateful for that. I have to say, I've been threatened physically that if we did not talk about Iran today, and if we did not talk about Trump's State of the Union, that I would probably be maimed and who knows what else. So we're going to have to touch on that for a little bit. Let me preface all of that to say this. If Trump had pulled that off one day earlier, we would have spent the first hour on that. The reason that we are not doing that today is because I really want to make sure that we give it the right research and stuff like that. So for those of you that might have been jumping on today and you're like, okay, let's get into this. No, we're not going to. We are going to touch on it briefly here. But what we're going to talk about today is Federalist Paper number 11. And more to the point, and in just a moment, Ryan will put up a cut, not just yet, but we're going to talk about, would Alexander Hamilton agree with Trump on tariffs? And things that make you go, really interesting look at Federalist Paper number 11 and a little bit of number 12. We're not really going to get into number 12, but for those of you that enjoy looking at documents like that, you would want to take it paper number 11 and number 12. Let's talk very quickly about Iran. Well, let's go back to the State of the Union, shall we? We got kicked off in the week in a really interesting fashion. And what you saw was President Trump in a true masterclass of how to operate. And I mean a true masterclass. I'm not sure that there is any other popular figure that can maneuver around people as well as what President Trump has in the last 10, 15 years. And I sincerely mean that. And here's what I mean. He went in and he laid a classic case of how you don't want to look, how dumb you don't want to look when you are watching a State of the Union. And classic case number one was everyone stand up and applaud if you think that your greatest responsibility is to the citizens of America first. And you watched half a room stand up, slightly more than half, stand up and wildly applaud, and you watched a lot of people on the other side that sat on their hands. And they were, I don't know if you noticed, there was smoke rising in the room. I'm surprised they did not evacuate. That's how bad it was. The loathing was palpable. Palpable. You could feel it. And obviously Trump doesn't care. He just doesn't. He's gotten to a point where he doesn't care about that kind of thing.
You know what was interesting, Charlie, about that is that he even pointed it out to everybody and to everyone that was listening nationwide. He told everybody nationwide, look at who is sitting.
So for those Republicans that are smart, and I want to just make it clear, I'm not one that thinks that all Republicans are smart, not by any stretch. But if you were smart, you would have taken that clip right there and you would have cemented that for $1 million worth of ads on your campaign. Easily. Easily. That was a cataclysmic moment for political advertising if I ever saw one. And President Trump handed a gift, and I mean a gift, to all Republicans running in the near future. It was a masterclass. Part number 2 about the State of the Union, he absolutely did a phenomenal job of the storytelling. There's a saying in sales, stats tell, stories sell. Mm-hmm. He sold. And I'm not saying that he was selling a bill of goods, because he wasn't. I'm telling you, he masterfully used storytelling in that State of the Union. Absolutely did. Loved it. Loved it. It was good stuff.
If I had to describe it, I would say very American.
Oh, truly.
And
Truly.
so that night, the State of the Union was going to start, and I was like, okay, I'm going to watch this. I don't know how long I'm going to watch this, but I'm going to watch it. And then 2 hours later, oh no, it was an hour and a half later, you come in and you're like, you're still watching? I said, this has been really good.
Yeah. How often do you do that? Yeah. Yeah.
Because, Trump is not a great speech giver.
No, he's really not.
Well, okay, he's not the easiest
best
to listen. Yeah, he's not the easiest to listen to. Would you rather listen to? Oh man, I can't believe I'm saying this. Would you rather listen to an Obama articulate something or a Trump? Obama is definitely smoother.
He really is in articulating his points across in a speech. And I'll tell you, Obama was really good at giving speeches.
Yes.
He was really good.
Yes. Great. It was a great, I thought it was a really great State of the Union.
It was,
and he needed it.
Yeah.
He needed it.
Yes.
And by the way, the polling came out that 64% found it to be favorable for Trump, which also does not speak well for the other
but
side.
that's normal. No matter who's doing a State of the Union, you're going to get that bump. What's going to be interesting is to see how long that lasts. I do need to do this. I need to acknowledge Manu Chao on the chat. You're asking how well Steve looks. Steve looks superb. I can't, he just is what he is. I love the shirt.
He complimented me. He didn't compliment you.
Yeah. I was being sexist.
I wonder why.
Being sexist here.
It's not like Miss Nikki's your wife. No. That's totally not the reason.
Hey.
Oh my.
Hey. If I had a wife and she was here, I'd be doing the same thing, Charlie. So,
as a husband
props,
should.
buddy. Yeah. You're doing just fine.
I was doing the smart thing there, wasn't I?
You're doing just fine, dude. Just fine.
Oh my. All right, let's continue
Nothing
on.
wrong.
So enough on the State of the Union. Thought it was a great speech. I trust that you were able to to watch that. Number two, the events from Friday night, Saturday morning, the bombing of Iran, that was totally expected. As a matter of fact, I was listening to Hugh Hewitt earlier in the week, and I thought he really stated this very well. Trump has actually put himself in a place where he has no choice. If he does not bomb Iran, he comes out looking very weak. And if he does bomb Iran, he comes out looking like what Democrats accuse him of. I think you can make a pretty good case for what has happened in terms of the bombing of Iran. Would I have taken out the leader? I think I would have made the case a little stronger before I did it. But one thing's for sure, Trump really doesn't give a rip what anybody else thinks. Mm-hmm. And
Agreed.
Yeah, I get where some Democrats come from. But can I just say this, and this is where I want to go with the Iran thing for a few moments. And I pulled out an article, I actually put it on our team chat, regarding how did we get here to this point. Folks, can I tell you something? We got here all the way back from Jimmy Carter.
Okay.
Just let that sink in for a moment.
Yep.
Okay. So we have had how many presidents? We had Carter. We had Ford. We had, I'm sorry. I shouldn't include Ford in there because I don't think he really, I'm not sure he could have done anything or would have done
there,
anything.
though.
Yeah. But you got Carter, you got Reagan, you've got Clinton, you've got
Two
Bushes. So that's 5. We've got Obama, we've got Biden. Okay.
And one term of Trump.
Yes.
And then another.
And actually, Trump was trying to figure out his way through the swamp. But that's 7 presidents. 7. There's only one that has made it very clear and has perpetuated that message this week. Only one that has said Iran will never have nukes. There is only one that has taken the steps to make sure that that doesn't happen. You can loathe Trump all you want. You can hate him. I do not care. I will tell you this. When President Trump says that he's going to do something, it usually means it's going to happen. It usually means that. And the Ayatollah, he found out. His leadership, they found out. And they have suffered the consequences because of it. They're crying for immunity. My thought is you get immunity from one thing. You get immunity from a trial. We'll take care of it from there. You have done horrific things to people that are unspeakable. Unspeakable. You were warned numerous times. America has shown unbelievable restraint. Unbelievable restraint. What happened this weekend is a situation of preventing greater evil from happening in the future. That's what happened. And I'm okay with it. You may not be. That's okay. I'm not going to go any further with my comments today. We will talk about it probably next week when John Arthur gets back. But I just wanted to say that what has been going on this weekend, we got notice. We were told it's coming. Mm-hmm. It's coming. And it's okay to disagree with the positions of things. I get it. That's what makes America great. Can we go ahead and discuss all those things in a civil tone and go from there?
I'm going to just step out
go right ahead.
On a limb here. I would not be surprised if this turns out really good for Trump, for the Middle East, for Europe, and America. I don't think Iran will stand. I think Iran will fall quickly. And if you don't realize, the Middle East people are afraid of Iran because they do have a nuclear weapon. So I think this is going to turn out well for Trump in the long run. And I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Not often, but no, I'm kidding. But I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. So Nikki and I, she kind of tapped me on the leg there for a reason. I'm not sure that Iran does fall. Now, what Nikki was sharing is that there's indications that it's on the precipice. And I'm not saying I don't want Iran to fall, but I'm looking at it from a biblical lens, and I'm looking at it from a revelation standpoint. And no, this is not the start of the tribulation, to be clear. Okay, it's not. But it does put more stuff on the stage. So the sound system is about set up. The cameras and all all that stuff is just about there.
All the lighting, the wiring.
Lighting and wiring is about done.
Yep.
We're fixing to see it. Well, for those that believe in pre-trib, we'll see it from a different perspective.
Because there's still a lot more things that need to be set up for the tribulation to happen.
There is. And yeah, boy, we could get into that.
Boy, that's a rabbit hole that's so deep
really
and
is.
long that could go on.
So I've given some time to Iran today. Again, we'll dig deeper on that.
Iran has been given so many opportunities, so many by so many presidents.
Yes.
And it's just the fatigue of it all that's,
Okay, last comment here. Obama practically tried to prop him up.
Yes.
And I thought Ben Rhodes was like, what hallucination are you having? I mean, he thinks that Trump is the reason that this is the reason that it happened, was because of Trump, because Trump is trying to clean up your mess that you left.
Correct.
So, yep. Okay. Enough on that.
I'll go with you on that. For sure.
All right. Ryan, are we ready?
Yes.
Let's do it. Cut number 1, man. We want to get into Federalist Paper number 11, the tie-in to present-day tariffs. Power, Trade, and Reality. Would Alexander Hamilton support modern tariffs? Great question. Well, let me go into my monologue here. Let's talk about this. For decades, much of modern economic thinking has favored free trade and reduced tariffs. So when tariffs returned as a major policy tool, many saw it as a dramatic shift in the wrong direction. But what if that assumption is wrong in itself? And with some of the success seen up to this point in time, it's becoming easier to conclude that it is wrong. Has free trade ever been neutral? Did the deals that President Nixon, President Clinton, President Obama put in America in a strong position for free trade, was that neutral? Maybe at some point America was participating in free trade that was neutral. Oh, that was interesting.
What?
We will give the benefit of the doubt. However, we think there is a case to be made that it's definitely not free to America today. Today, we're asking a serious question. Would Alexander Hamilton support modern tariffs? He had plenty to say about it.
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. No worries.
Sorry, everybody. I don't know what's going on there.
He had plenty to say about it in Federalist Paper number 11, and he had additional references in Federalist Paper number 12. Because here's the reality. When President Donald Trump imposed sweeping tariffs on China's steel and aluminum, critics called it economic nationalism. Some called it reckless. Others called it long overdue. But long before Trump, before the trade war, before globalization, Alexander Hamilton warned that commerce was not just about prosperity, it was about power. In Federalist number 11, Hamilton argued that a united America would become a commercial force and that foreign nations would only respect us if we acted as one. He did not believe trade existed in a vacuum. He believed it was strategic. He believed it was geopolitical. He believed it was tied to national strength. And he openly supported tariffs, not as punishment, but as instruments of nation building. And that's the rub. How the tariffs are being used in today's economic climate. Because President Trump is being accused of using them as punishment and leverage. Is that wrong? Especially given the situation with China, Russia, and India? So today, we're not asking whether tariffs are popular. We're not asking whether they raise prices or rattled markets. We're asking something deeper. Is economic policy about just getting by? Or is it about national sovereignty? Because if Hamilton was right, then tariffs aren't just economic tools. If President Trump is right, then tariffs may be the anvil on which sovereignty is defended. They may be the closest thing to an economic declaration of independence in our generation. So let's begin.
You know, I think Hamilton would support.
I've got a vote
Trump.
for yes.
I think he would.
And we're going to go through Federalist Paper number 11, at least half of it. It's a long read. And let me just say, for those of you that are watching and those of you that enjoy historical documents, I would encourage you to give it a read. It's a long one. It was written to the people of New York. It's a very interesting one. And I love what Hamilton laid out. The one thing I'm learning about Hamilton is this. He saw things way before America got there. He is what I would call a visionary. He could see it coming. And this particular piece right here is one of the best articulated pieces on the importance of commerce. I want you to think about what it was like at that time. What was it like? You've got a war that you're trying to get over with Britain. You've got France, who's on your side. You're trying to get to a place where you can have a good, solid country. Hamilton saw more than just the legal aspect of what was going on in America. He understood the importance of commerce. And remember this, at that time, what did nations do? They absolutely traded. You can go all the way back to the Apostle Paul, and you can see that happening. So the issue of commerce is really important now, and I want to make one little bit of a distinction here. I'm using the term tariffs when I refer to Hamilton. He was more on the commerce side, and he was not one that would necessarily use commerce or trade as punishment, but he absolutely would use it for leverage. And I maintain to you, that's exactly what we see in the current administration. It is being using as leverage.
I believe you're exactly right. And my opinion is that Trump is using it as leverage and as a means of American power.
Yep.
And to show that America does have the power and that its economy is a powerful worldwide economy, yep, and that it can do and charge these people. If you want to sell your products in America, you have to pay this to sell your items in America.
Don't go any further with that, Steve, because we're going to come back to some of that in just a moment. You're going to see how Hamilton, what he proposed, and how it ties into what you're saying right there. So, Ryan, let's go to cut number 9, I believe it is. Get started with this Federalist paper. To the people of the state of New York, the importance of the Union in a commercial light is one of those points about which there is at least room to entertain a difference of opinion, and which has, in fact, commanded the most general assent of men who have any acquaintance with the subject. This applies as well to our intercourse with foreign countries as with each other. There are appearances to authorize a supposition that the adventurous spirit which distinguishes the commercial character of America has already excited uneasy sensations in several of the maritime powers of Europe. What's he saying here? Well, he's basically saying that the Union matters economically. Remember, there's a lot of division, still a lot of uneasiness. America had a hard time coming together. She was feeling like wet cement for quite a while, and it was a struggle. Hamilton is also saying that it matters for domestic trade between each other, and foreign trade. You know, when you look at the founding of America, was it the Northeast that was really the prize? That was a pretty good prize. I won't deny that. The prize was the Mississippi River. That was the prize. Because that is a thoroughfare. How does America use it today? It's a thoroughfare.
Big time.
Big time. So, again, Hamilton, he's not making the case for that right at the moment. But watch as we go along here. Ryan, cut number 10, please. There are appearances to authorize a supposition that the adventurous spirit, which distinguishes the commercial character of America, has already excited uneasy sensations in several of the maritime powers of Europe. They seem to be apprehensive of our too great interference in that carrying trade, which is the support of their navigation, in the foundation of their naval strength. Did you note that? Their naval strength. Those of them which have colonies in America look forward to what this country is capable of becoming with painful solicitude. Okay, so here's what he's arguing. America's bold trading spirit is being noticed. The rest of the world is watching. They're seeing this. European maritime powers depend on shipping for naval dominance. If America competes in global carrying trade, it threatens their naval strength. Nations with colonies in the Americas are especially anxious about what the United States could become. Not is, could become. I want to emphasize this one more time. Hamilton is seeing what America will become before she ever gets there. He sees it. This is a great piece that he's articulating through. Let's go to the next cut there, Ryan, number 11. They foresee the dangers that may threaten their American dominions from the neighborhood of states, which have all the dispositions and would possess all the means requisite to the creation of a powerful marine. Impressions of this kind will naturally indicate the policy of fostering divisions among us. And of depriving us, as far as possible, of an active commerce in our own bottoms. This would answer the threefold purpose of preventing our interference in their navigation, of monopolizing the profits of our trade, and of clipping the wings by which we might soar to a dangerous greatness. He sees this. He sees this with unbelievable, it's clear to him. And I just have to stop here for just a moment. I love the tone of clipping the wings by which we might soar. I love Benjamin Franklin, did a lot of great things. I love it. His recommendation of the turkey as the national bird. No, Benjamin, sit down and be quiet on that one. Oh no, America's going to soar like an eagle. Like an eagle. And Hamilton sees it. He sees it. If the United States remains united,
the turkey tastes too good.
No, leave it for Thanksgiving. If the United States remains united, it will have the disposition, the will. It will have the means, the resources, and eventually create a powerful navy. Now here's the escalation. If Europe believes that, then Europe will act accordingly. Hamilton predicts they will encourage divisions among the states. Jesus even said a house divided cannot stand. By the way, that's the issue with America today. She is greatly divided. I might ask you, for what purpose? Hamilton predicts that they will try to suppress American shipping. They will restrict American trade in American vessels. This is all proving to be very interesting. This is the old form of interfering in American politics. That's not new. That didn't happen with Putin. That didn't start then. This has been going on for many, many decades. In Hamilton's day, foreign powers acting in their own interests meant manipulating trade policy, favoring certain states over others, encouraging regional rivalries, which would have happened in America, restricting American shipping, using diplomacy to fragment rather than unify. Now, if you think about it, does Trump use these same tactics when he's dealing with foreign countries? Yes. Yes. Division. Today, the methods look different, but the strategic logic is similar. Information warfare, election interference, cyber operations, amplifying internal divisions, economic pressure. Hamilton understood something timeless. Great powers prefer divided rivals. Let me say that one more time. Great powers prefer divided rivals. Let's keep going, Ryan. Cut number 12, my apologies. Did not prudence forbid the detail? It would not be difficult to trace by facts the workings of this policy to the cabinets of ministers. If we continue united, we may counteract a policy so unfriendly to our prosperity in a variety of ways by prohibitory regulations extending at the same time throughout the states. We may oblige foreign countries to bid against each other for the privileges of our markets. Wow. Here's the chess move, and Hamilton is playing a great game. He's basically saying, I could show you the evidence of foreign manipulation, but I won't spell it out. Then he shifts. If we stay united, we can impose prohibitory regulations and force foreign nations to compete for access to our markets. What? Are you serious? Now, who does that sound like? Just asking. This is massive. He moves from they will try to suppress us to we can reverse leverage and make them bid for us. Yeah.
That's what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. Cut number 13, Ron. This assertion will not appear chimerical to those who are able to appreciate the importance of the markets of 3 million of people, increasing in rapid progression, for the most part, exclusively addicted to agriculture, and likely from local circumstances to remain so. To any manufacturing nation, and the immense difference there would be to the trade and navigation of such a nation, between a direct communication in its own ships and an indirect conveyance of its products and returns to and from America in the ships of another country. So he speaks about something very important here. About 3 million people, that's what America is, about that, a little less, rapidly growing. Agricultural, for sure, huge export market, huge import market. Hamilton is arguing that America is not weak, she is a prize. And prizes have leverage. Is it any wonder why Britain fought so hard? Nope. It's not a wonder at all. Britain saw the goodness of America too. And I'm talking the land. Go ahead.
It's a good time to bring up the Boston Tea Party. Why did that happen?
Yeah.
What was Britain doing? They were taking the goods of this land.
Yep. And using it for them.
They were taxing the people in America. Taxation without representation is where that comes from. But that led to the Boston Tea Party.
When you look at what Hamilton says there, to really conclude it, yes, Europe will try to fragment us. And hey, newsflash, they're still doing it today. Britain, France, and we could go on. Those are your two strongest ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a real problem. The other question I want to ask you right now, or the other issue I want you to think about, who has the greatest navy in the world? Think on that for just a moment. How did it get there? Hamilton saw something way before it ever happened. He was a visionary. He saw it. And I think you're probably starting to conclude that, yeah, Hamilton probably would agree with Trump's tariffs. One thing I will say, he might not agree 100%, especially in how they've been executed, but he had no problem using that as leverage on other nations. And it was a smart move. This paper, this Federalist paper, this is a gem right here. He articulated one of the most important strategic moves that America could make in its early years. And it worked out really well. Want to keep going here. Cut number 14, Ryan. Suppose, for instance, we had a government in America capable of excluding Great Britain, with whom we have at present no treaty of commerce, from all our ports. What would be the probable operation of this step upon our politics? Would it not enable us to negotiate, with the fairest prospect of success, for commercial privileges of the most valuable and extensive kind in the dominions of that kingdom? Okay. I like that. He says, imagine if we had a national government strong enough to exclude them. Okay. Then he asks, what would happen to British policy if we did that? And when you're a political leader, that is exactly the sequence of statements that you should be making. We do this. What's the result? That's just war room planning. That's all that is. His answer, implied through the rhetorical question, is simple. Britain would come to the table. Okay. So Hamilton is describing the use of market access as leverage. Good move. We've seen that same strategic logic in modern times. What was the first thing that Trump did when it came to the tariffs for Canada? Ouch. And actually, before that, he went after Mexico for good reason. By the way, I think one of the worst, and I mean the worst, policies ever signed was NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement. I remember that as a young adult, and holy cow, I was coming out of my skin on that thing. I actually wrote a letter to President Bush, and that's Senior Bush.
I remember that too.
Yeah, it was awful. It was one of the worst things that we could have done. And boy, had I only known how damaging that would have been, I would have encouraged others to do it as well.
And all of those horrible vehicles coming across the border.
Yep.
Man.
So you've got President Trump, tariffs used as negotiating tool with China, with Mexico. By the way, China does not have much leverage. And I'll tell you why. What does China want access to? This is a very thing that Hamilton talked about. What does China want access to? America. And you're going to see something that Hamilton brings up here in just a moment. I'm going to go deeper with it. But the last point I want to make on this slide, whether one supports those policies or not, the underlying principle is Hamiltonian. Market access has power. You can't sell when there's no buyers. Okay, that's business 101. You can't sell when there's no buyers. You can sell in a small market. You better be good at it. And you better have something good to give them. But you can't sell when there is no buyers. Commercial unity is strength. Hamilton saw the importance of a naval marine operation. Notice he wasn't talking about an army. That's not what he was talking about. He said, if you want to be an economic power, you better learn how to use your marine. He was right. Trade policy is statecraft. That's what it is. And he saw that very well. Number 15, Ryan. When these questions have been asked upon other occasions, they have received a plausible but not a solid or satisfactory answer. And it has been said that prohibitions on our part would produce no change in the system of Britain because she could prosecute her trade with us through the medium of the Dutch. What could the Chinese do? Trade through Mexico or Canada. Watch the argument. Who would be her immediate customers and paymasters for those articles which were wanted for the supply of our markets, but would not her navigation be materially injured by the loss of the important advantage of being her own carrier in that trade? For those of us that are in business, we totally get what Hamilton's getting at here. Totally get it. If you have to sell through somebody else, you lose a lot of money. You lose a lot. Why? Because now you're paying an intermediary to carry your product and get it to market. Can I give you a story about my mom and dad? I want to share this really quick because this will illustrate this. They were farmers in Western New York, south of Buffalo. Beautiful land. Mm-hmm. Beautiful land. I love that area up there. She is pretty. Now, I would not live in New York right now. And I'm talking New York State. I'm not talking New York City. I would not live up there. It is unbelievably difficult to make a living. You can't. It is. I have such respect for family and friends who still live up there. I really do. Very difficult. So I want you to watch this. My mom and dad are on a farm. They sell milk. They've got a dairy farm of about 35 cattle. They sell milk. They get anywhere from $11 to $12 per 100 pound of milk. Okay? Now, for those of you trying to do the math, let me help you out. When you're talking about gallons, that's around $1 a gallon. Okay? I'm sorry. You've got 8 pounds in a gallon. So you're going to have roughly 12 gallons in a 100 pound of milk. So I am right. It's about $1 a gallon. Okay? They started in year X. They actually had to get out. There was get out farming. We had a very bad respiratory disease that came through our cattle, decimated. It killed a few of them, and it was going to have a severe impact on the rest of them. And we had my mom and dad sold out. That was like, I'm going to say that was like 5-6 years later. Guess what the price of milk was for farmers? It was still $11 or $12 per 100 pound. My dad told me a number of years later that even another 10 years later, farmers were only getting $13 per 100 pound of milk. Now, who's making the money on that? I'm going to tell you. It's your intermediaries, the ones carrying the product. I had made a suggestion to my dad, and it wouldn't have been feasible. I wished it had been. But the idea is, hey, Dad, why don't you just go ahead and sell your own milk? You pasteurize it. You homogenize it. You get it to market. Now who gets the money? You can see it. Hamilton saw it. He saw it. He's making the case, yeah, the Dutch, yeah, they can go ahead and do that. But what does Britain lose in the end? A lot of money. Because you don't make near the same amount of money Yeah, you can still get that product out. Yep. You don't get the same money. That hurts. Hamilton was right. He nailed it. He nailed it. Let me give you a couple more thoughts on this. We have seen what Trump has done with negotiations between the U.S. and China, Canada, Mexico, India. He has forced them into a position where they stand to lose direct access to the American economy. Does China want to do that?
No.
Does Canada? I have a lot of respect for Canada in terms of the hardworking people up there. I have very little respect for those in Ontario. They're global elitists right there. So I don't have a lot of respect for them. But you talk about those folks out in Saskatchewan, Alberta. Yeah, I got a lot of respect for them because they are the ones carrying that country right now. I have a lot of respect for the timber industry that they have up there. When you sit there and you say, when as a president, you say, you're going to pay X tariff. No, we're not. You're not going to get our lumber. Okay. Now, just ask the question, do we absolutely need their lumber? No. We've got a lot of it ourselves. And that leads us into a different debate, but we've got that lumber ourselves. Are we going to lose the maple syrup? No, and I love maple syrup. I'm up there on that. And if you've never had the wonderful pleasure of making your own maple syrup, that is cool. I'm talking from tree to maple syrup jug. That is cool.
Ooh. That would be good.
It is.
Ooh.
It is. Yeah, and our farmers wouldn't be able to sell the milk up there. That's an issue. I would submit to you that we should be drinking more milk in America. That's just me, and I'm not looking to make enemies. There's some of you that probably think we should give up milk altogether. I'm not one of them. And it's not because my family was farmers. I just happen to believe it's a healthy drink. But that's me.
Man, my brother and I, when we were in high school, we drank a gallon of milk a day.
Oh, buddy, I can go through it.
Man.
I can absolutely go through it.
When our sons were teenagers, it was we were going through more than a gallon a day.
Yep.
Man, that was just me and my brother. We
Good
drank
stuff.
the milk.
Good stuff.
Yeah, well, man.
Ryan, cut number 16, please. Would not so circuitous an intercourse facilitate the competitions of other nations? This is getting to the core of where Hamilton wants to go. By enhancing the price of British commodities in our markets and by transferring to other hands the management of this interesting branch of the British commerce? He's making the argument further. If Britain must route trade indirectly, her goods become more expensive in American markets. That's true. And let me just stop here. Oh, I can hear this from the screaming left right now. It's a tax. It's a tax. Okay, it's a tax. Fine. I happen to agree with Trump on this. It's an equalizer. It is high time that American goods are sold on a shelf that's even. It is high time that American goods are not put on the bottom shelf of other countries, but on the middle shelf where it's easy to get to. That's what it's time for. And there's been only one president who has been willing to do that, and that is Trump. You can argue all you want about this. That's fine. We can argue about it. I will gladly debate you, respectfully. I will gladly debate you on these tariff things. They're good. They're good. It's an equalizer. Yeah, but Charlie, he's done the wrong thing. He's done this and he's done... Step back. Just step back and take a look at what has happened since he's done this. Really. The trade deficit has gone down a lot. a lot. We are running surpluses now. Folks, I have paid attention to this stuff since I was a young adult, 30, 40 years. I could count on one hand the number of times that America has gone through a year where we had a trade surplus, and I'm not sure that it was for a full year. No, it's high time that America get a chance to prosper.
So what do you say to the people that said, well, the Supreme Court just struck down his ability for tariffs?
I think people that are reading that did not read the full thing and understand the full ramifications of it. For those and I'm with Larry Kudlow on this, I think he nailed it. Larry Kudlow said, for those of you that think that Trump was defeated on this, you are sadly mistaken. Sadly, because the issue was the justifications that Trump used for those tariffs. The first thing he did when those tariffs were struck down is he said, yep, and I'm ratcheting up another 10% across the board using Section 122. Guess what section didn't get addressed in that? 122. And I don't think they can. I don't think there's a justification legally to come back against that. This has created a very uncertain feeling within our political elite. Quite frankly, I don't care. They need to be voted out. And can we all just say, get to the voting booth this week if you're in Texas? Hello?
Or any state, really.
Hello? Hello? Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Tuesday, you should have already voted. And if you didn't, that's okay. I understand. We've got busy lives. Sometimes we're on the road and we can't. You've got Tuesday. Let's get it done. There's going to be runoffs. Guess what we need to do on the runoffs? We need to be paying attention. Can I hammer this home? You should be voting in the runoff. Okay? We got people that need to be voted out. Absolutely need to be voted out. Okay? So get to the voting booth. But for those that believe that the Supreme Court dealt a blow to Trump, not even close. As a matter of fact, Brett Kavanaugh did us a favor. He was so good. Man, that guy's sharp. He even told Trump how to get around it, in his opinion. I don't know of too many Supreme Court justices that would have thought of that.
So you may have the state of New York and you have the UPS that want to come back and get a refund for their tariffs. How's that gonna
Dream
play
on.
out?
Dream on. Because Trump will go back and say Section 122 and I'm making them retroactive. So enjoy. You're not getting a refund. Delaware, was it Delaware or Maryland?
New York State.
No, it was somebody before them.
Jasmine
I know.
Crockett's going to come say something about it.
I think Maryland was the one that they wanted $4 billion back. Dream on. Dream on. In your wildest dreams, you'll get that. Ain't happening. All right, Ryan, I got to go to cut number, what am I on? 17. That's it. A further resource for influencing the conduct of European nations toward us in this respect would arise from the establishment of the Federal Navy. There can be no doubt that the continuance of the Union under an efficient government would put it in our power, at a period not very distant, to create a Navy which, if it could not vie with those of the great maritime powers, would at least be of respectable weight if thrown into the scale of either of two contending parties. You know what he's saying here? Okay, our Navy won't be the most magnificent thing right at the moment. Understood. But we could at least play a part in the game. We can get to the table. Oh, I love this. Of respectable weight if thrown into the scale of either of two contending parties. That's balance of power language. He knows what to do. He knows exactly what to do. All right, Ryan, cut number 18, if we could, please. Under a vigorous national government, the natural strength and resources of the country directed to a common interest would baffle all the combinations of European jealousy to restrain our growth. Oh, I love that line. This situation would even take away the motive to such combinations by inducing an impracticability of success. An active commerce, an extensive navigation, and a flourishing marine would then be the offspring of moral and physical necessity. We might defy the little arts of the little politicians to control or vary the irresistible and unchangeable course of nature. Note the important wording at the beginning of the paragraph. He uses the word vigorous. That's strong. That's powerful. It's made by strength. Vigorous. He is making the additional point that unity would channel power. And he makes the case that commerce would flourish, navigation would expand, maritime strength would increase. I ask the question again. Who has the greatest navy right now?
Right now?
The United States.
The United States. That's right.
The United States.
Do you know China does outnumber us in ships? But that doesn't
not
mean
in technology, not in capability. Nope. And that's a fair point. They're gaining. No doubt. No doubt. But America has the greatest navy right now. I wonder if Hamilton would agree. I think he would. Ryan, cut number 19, please. They, of course, would hardly remain long indifferent to that decided mastery, of which experience has shown us to be possessed in this valuable branch of traffic, and by which we are able to undersell those nations in their own markets. What more natural than that they should be disposed to exclude from the list such dangerous competitors? There is an inherent danger to becoming powerful on the world stage. And Hamilton saw that too. He understands that trade is not sentimental. It is competitive. It's a big man's game. And competition provokes defensive policy. So this paragraph does three things here. I want you to note this. It acknowledges that other nations act rationally in their own interest. Okay, yep. It predicts exclusion as a natural response to American strength. And it reinforces why unity and national trade control are necessary. This is not fear on Hamilton's part. It's strategic clarity. He knows the ramifications of this. I'm telling you, folks, if I could describe it like this, he wants to build a house and he can see it in his mind. He can see it. He knows how to build it. He knows how to get to the end. That's one of our founding fathers. I don't know about you. I'm pretty grateful that Alexander Hamilton was around. Cut number 20, Ryan. Hamilton is not naive about the world. He sees beyond where America is at his time and what she will become. He knows that if America becomes strong, other nations will respond. They will protect their industries. They will attempt exclusion. They will maneuver strategically. Which means the question is not whether competition exists. The question is whether America is structured to withstand it. And that's what Federalist Paper number 11 insists on. Unity, as it relates to the issue of trade. Tariffs are merely one of those levers. Tariffs, the anvil on which sovereignty is defended. Nikki, closing thoughts on that?
I do. I think that's true because if you are always...
Let me get that up there a little bit more for you.
You're always in a deficit, that's a weakness. Mm-hmm. That weakens you. The American debt that we have is a weakness. And I believe tariffs is a good way to help turn that around.
I totally agree with that. I think debt is a weakness. I would agree with that. Steve?
Yeah, I think right now is a really good time to be going over some of this with the Federalist Papers. And if anybody has any interest about anything with the Federalist Papers, they can go back in our history and look up what we did on the Federalist Papers. We did a whole bunch of stuff.
We've done some episodes on
We
that.
did a number of episodes that went over a bunch of the Federalist Papers.
We haven't gotten through all of them, but
No.
we've gotten through quite a few of them. And I wanted to
Yes.
touch on this one because it really is apropos to what's going on.
Very
with regards
convenient
to
for the time on what's
Yep.
happening right now. And I think it's really good that we did this right now. And as a matter of fact, I thought it was really interesting that we're doing this and that we had done ours just so many weeks ago. And then just like a couple of weeks ago, I saw a gentleman that he's like one of these Second Amendment guys that gets on the internet and stuff, one of these influencer people. He is doing this like called Guns and Gadgets. He is doing a series on the Federalist Papers also.
Well, I love it. We're
And I
coming
thought,
back to our roots.
Wow, this
Yep.
is fantastic. Here's another person that's throwing some stuff out on the Federalist Papers.
Yep.
And it is fantastic
I love it.
that people are putting some stuff out on the Federalist Papers
Yeah.
because there's so many people
I
that
don't think
don't
they're-
know anything about it.
They're not teaching this stuff in school anymore.
Exactly.
And if you can rob a nation of their history, you can overtake a country. And these kids that are coming out of public school, well, half of them can't read and write. There are some, I bet there's a lot of them that can't even read or write, but they don't know their history.
Right.
My son is 30, 35, 36, and he was telling me he was working with a gentleman that is in his early 20s, and he said, "Mom, he didn't know Pennsylvania was a state." So he said,
That's sad.
Didn't you go to school?" He goes, "Yeah, I graduated." And he goes, "You didn't know Pennsylvania was a state?" So I was like, okay.
Yep.
But no, this doesn't surprise me. As a matter of fact, I was speaking to a teacher from a different state, not the state of Texas, and teaching 6th grade social studies. And he says, these kids can't write. They can't read.
Oh, my.
It's sad.
And so he went to the principal, and the principal says, well, just push them through. They're going to fail English and math, and so they'll be held back. That's not solving the problem.
No.
That's putting
No.
a Band-Aid on the situation. That's not solving your
That's
problem.
perpetuating the problem.
That's exactly right. What do they do later in life when they can't read or write? I mean,
Yeah.
they're trying to drive down the road and you can't read a sign that says wrong way.
Mr.
Yeah.
Ryan, what do you think?
That's crazy to me.
Yep.
Very sad.
What do you think about tariffs?
I think it's great that we're covering this today. Like, it amazes me how we keep going over these documents, and it's very appropriate for what's going on today.
That's true.
So, for those of you that don't know, Ryan is pretty young. Very young.
Yeah, I'm 12. No, I'm kidding.
No, he's not.
I'm 12 plus 10.
Yeah, there we go.
I can do math.
But, and the reason that I ask Ryan the question is that if you don't have people speaking around you knowledgeably, you will be, it'll make you nervous. It'll make you scared. And so one of the reasons that I really wanted to hit on this today, A, because it did affect going over one of the Federalist Papers, which I wanted to do, but B, we need to be able to articulate a defense of it. It's okay to debate these things. We should debate these things. I'm not saying that Trump has perfectly executed everything. I'm not one of those that would say that. But I would say this. his general vision, I like. His general premise of what he wants to do is understood. And there has not been any other presidents that have been willing to do that. I like that. I am also one of those that believes that we should have another businessman as president. This is Pomeroy opinion, strictly Pomeroy opinion. I like it because what are they thinking about? Well, they think about it from a profit standpoint. All right. And I like that. It's time for America to stop being in debt. You just heard what Miss Nikki said a moment ago, and I think she's spot on. Debt makes America weak. Mm-hmm. No doubt about it. So I appreciate you guys chiming in on that. We need to get to the next segment. You're going to love this, which is Nikki Knows Facts. Nikki Knows Facts. So, Mr. Ryan, let's kick it off, shall we?
Can you remind me what cut that stuff
Yes, I will. I'll tell you. It's cut number 22.
Okay.
So let me just say this. This
No,
year,
don't say this. Go ahead.
this year is going to mark our 250-year anniversary of being a country. And I think we should start thinking about that now.
Yep.
I think we need to remember what the country has gone through. We need to remember the good. We need to remember the bad. We need to remember the ugly.
That sounds like a movie.
We're going to cover some
The
ugly
good, bad, and the
today.
ugly. But that is America. There's good, there's bad, there's ugly. But we are a great nation. There's been a lot of sacrifice for our nation. I think we need to focus on some of the facts, where we have been and where we're going. So let's go ahead to that one.
So before you do that, Ryan, just one thing I want to clarify for everybody. The reason we do the Nikki Knows Facts, these are fun little tidbits of information. These are the kind of pieces of information that you can use on your favorite trivia game, if you will. And it makes it for fun discussion around the table for the kitchen dinner or whatever you got going on. So
Maybe we should do some trivia one day.
we should.
We should play a trivia game.
That would be fun.
Hey,
That'd be
cool.
fun.
American history.
Maybe we could do that while John Arthur's out of town in the future.
Yeah, because he would always win.
Yeah, that's not
yeah, well,
fair.
Jonathan's not here because
not
he's a smarty
fair.
pants.
Yep. All right, so Ryan, let's go to cut number 23 for Miss Nikki.
Okay, Declaration of Independence, 1776. On July 4th, 1776, American declares independence. But did you know only John Hancock and Charles Thompson signed it on July 4th?
What?
Most signed on August 2nd was nearly a month later. I think.
Wait a minute.
You think they might have to think about it?
No.
Think
I
they
don't. No.
had problems with
Nope.
it?
Nope.
No.
You're,
I think
you're
it
not
was
talking
travel
about
or something,
Yeah, that's
probably.
it.
You think travel?
You're not talking about people that could just jump on. Oh, I got to get to Philadelphia.
Okay.
Nope. That you're right, Steve.
Travel, I would bet.
That would take a little bit of planning. But it's interesting that only two
I
Only
know.
two?
signed
That
it.
is.
And you sit there and you think, oh, yeah, July 4th, that's the day. Everybody signed it.
Now you know why
that
Hancock
wasn't.
got such a big.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was probably the first one who
Yep.
signed it. Oh, I'm here we go.
That was a really interesting tidbit. By the way, so when Miss Nikki's talking about our 250-year history, we're going to be spending the next 18 weeks on Nikki Knows Facts going through these, and we're going to be doing about 14-year increments going through this. So that's why we're starting with 1776. So, Ryan, let's get to cut number 24.
Okay. Population. The population was around 2.75 million people. Did you know roughly 20% of the population was enslaved at the time of independence?
Wow.
Now, we are today around 300 million people.
Closer to 4.
Are we?
Yeah, we're in the I want to say 370 range.
Well, once we deport everybody, we might be back down. I don't know. That
No,
was a joke.
We might never know.
That was a joke.
We got about 50 million.
I need to-
40 that are illegal.
I need to
Yeah.
look at that.
Yeah.
I need to look at that. But no, that's
a big
You know, when
growth.
you think about 20% of the population.
Yeah, that was
that's a
Man,
lot.
that's a lot of people.
that when you say good, bad, and ugly, that's ugly.
Yeah.
All right, go on
Bad
to the next
nugget.
one.
Yep. 24.
Okay. Next one?
my bad.
All right. The war lasted 8 years. Did you know the war cost Britain so much that it nearly triggered financial collapse back in Britain and helped push Britain toward expanding elsewhere in the empire? It's a lot of money to cross the sea.
It not only crossed the sea, but to fight.
You know, they really wanted to conquer back then. And Britain and France and Spain
They
really
were in
branched
it.
out.
They were in it.
Yes. Britain, if you understand all the countries they were involved in, taking, territory and stuff.
They were spread out.
They were.
They were really spread
were
out.
spread out.
And they had a big footprint in India
Yes.
and America.
Yes.
In those two countries,
Absolutely.
big time.
Yes,
Yeah.
they did. All right, next one. Articles of Confederation, 1781. The Articles of Confederation create a weak central government, and did you know Congress had no power to tax? It had to ask the states for money, and most states ignored the request.
No, they did
Well,
not.
You know what? Isn't that sort of like the UN that you're all supposed to give money or
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
to the when
My-
Trump
my
stepped down
darling-
and said,
my-
Other countries,
my darling,
refused.
dropping the mic right there.
so isn't that why Trump came in and said, "Hey, it's time for you guys to pay your fair
That's
share"?
exactly why he did that. And let me tell you, this is another one of those. Trump would have no problem pulling out of the UN. He would do it in a heartbeat,
It should.
and I believe he should. I believe
would not
he should.
be surprised if the group that what is the peace name of the peace thing that he's trying to develop over there with Gaza in the Middle East.
The Abraham Accords, or
Is it just going to be strengthening those Abraham Accords, or is it something else?
oh, he would love to strengthen that. He would like to get more countries
What-
to sign on to that.
He's supposed to be the president until he dies. And I need to research that more before I speak on it. But anyway,
She misspoke.
I misspoke. But if he gets that going, then we don't need the UN.
But this is so funny. Congress had no power to tax. It had to ask the states for money. And most states ignored it. Can you imagine that? And by the way, that is exactly the fragility that America had in its founding, because it could not pay the soldiers. Well, what are we fighting for? For our country. Really?
Yeah.
Is that what we're fighting for? We're not
So-
getting paid like it.
So
Not
Michigan,
getting fed, not getting paid.
And this is where, and boy, I've had this talk with several people. You got to tax, you got to tax, you got to tax. Okay, there are some things that I think you do absolutely need to tax. There are some things that I think the government is taxing just for the sake of having income. That's wrong.
for their perps.
For their perps, yeah. So when I see a group, a department, DOJ, go in to do what it does, by all means, take the knife and cut, because there's a lot of waste going
To
on.
the bone, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
All right, go on to the next one. No president under the Articles. There was
Whoa.
no executive branch. Did you know? President of Congress existed, but it was basically a meeting moderator, not a national leader. I think that was the last presidency, was it? Anyway, sorry.
Oh man,
And
she's
I had to
getting,
say that.
getting sharp with that tongue today, aren't
That
you?
is sharp, huh?
Oh yeah. That's,
But
I
you
just-
know, there's something really and we got a sharp group of listeners here, but some people may not realize that the Articles of Confederation, they were weak. Mm-hmm. They were absolutely weak.
Yes.
And that's why we needed a constitution. A lot of people think that the Constitution was put into place just mere months after the signing of the Declaration of Independence. No, it wasn't. It was like 7-8 years later. And that even had trouble getting passed, which you'll see in a moment. But it was really interesting to see this particular note here. You had a leader, but it was a leader of Congress. A leader of Congress. It wasn't a quote unquote national leader. So,
All right. Move on to the next one here. Treaty of Paris, 1783. Britain formally recognized American independence, but did you know America negotiated directly with Britain without informing France, its wartime ally, violating prior agreements in order to get better land terms. Now, good, bad, and
ouch.
good, bad, and ugly.
Ouch.
So, but in 1793, they recognized American independence, but we did end up back in war in 1812 with Britain.
Yep.
They really harassed our shipping industry. All right, next one. America doubled in size. Did you know at independence, the U.S. became one of the largest nations in the world overnight? Bigger than Britain itself. Well, that would make you a bit nervous being Britain, wouldn't it? I think I'd be a little bit nervous. Yeah.
Now think about this. Kind of pair this together with what we were talking about today in the hour segment. Hamilton sees what's coming. He sees. Look at the map there, folks. Put that back up there, Ryan, if you would, please. Look at the map there. Okay. There's a nice line on the left edge. I'm not talking the straight one. That's your Mississippi River.
Oh boy, so we've expanded way beyond that.
Gotten big. We got big.
We were busy the last 250 years.
Yep.
Okay. Next one. Shays Rebellion. Armed farmers in Massachusetts rebelled over debt and taxation. But did you know George Washington privately admitted the rebellion made him reconsider retirement? It directly influenced his decision to attend the Constitutional Convention.
Ooh.
I will say that was terrible. Those men in Massachusetts had fought for our country and then went home, had no money because they didn't get paid. And the state, some of them lost their farms, lost their land because of that. When I talk about the good, bad, and the ugly, that's what it is.
Because they couldn't get paid.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
Well, it's terrible. All right. Next one.
Yep.
Constitutional Convention. There was 55 delegates met in Philadelphia. And did you know, I knew this, by the way, the windows were nailed shut despite summer heat to keep discussions secret. Delegates swore confidentiality. It was the first
skiff
used in the U.S.
Now, some of you, most of you may know this, but some of you may not. A skiff is a completely secured room. What's really interesting about this is that typically you hear only about a few of these within the national government. And these are rooms in which people can speak freely, and supposedly that stuff doesn't make it outside the room. Okay, that's good. Well, Kristi Noem this last week, I read an article where she found a skiff in the Department of Homeland Security that wasn't supposed to be there. What was going on? Looked like some deep state people put together their own skiff.
Rita?
And they were,
You mean the spyware?
Yeah, no, I'm talking, they were talking about Kristi Noem and what was going on. What were the things that were happening in the Department of Homeland Security?
Within her own department?
Yep. They were spying on her, if you will. That's the article that I read.
And they all need to be tried for treason.
Amen.
And treason is...
And they are looking into it. They're going to find out what the purpose of this thing was.
Yep. That's treason.
Yep.
That's treason.
That is interesting.
Just read that this last week. I'm waiting for more.
And that's either, as far as I'm concerned, that's life in prison or you're hung in the public square. All right,
Yep.
Moving on to the next one.
Yep.
Wow.
Constitution ratified. 9 states ratified, officially forming the new federal government. But did you know the Constitution almost failed in New York? It passed by just 3 votes. Without New York, America's geographic unity would have been fractured from the start. Well, 3 votes is
Without New York?
Yep.
Get
And
wrote.
yeah.
I'll tell you, I love the land of New York is beautiful. If you've never traveled in New York State, let me encourage you to do a trip there. Okay, that would be great. I would encourage you to check out all the state. Start from Western New York, go up to the falls, go up there, go to the Great Lakes. You're talking Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, but the Finger Lakes, that is a beautiful area there. Beautiful area. For those of you that are wine drinkers, you've got vineyards all over the place in the Finger Lake area. And it's beautiful topography. There we go. Then head over to the Appalachians. I would encourage you to take a trip there. If you really want to finish it off, go to the Eisenhower Locks. That is a great time. And if you can get there when a ship is going through, that is way cool. Way cool. You could check out the Erie Canal. You could go to New York City. There's some cool stuff to do in New York City. I'm not sure if I would encourage you to go there right now. That is Pomori opinion. I am not against New York City. I'm just telling you, may not be the safest of places to go right at the moment. Okay. But there is a lot of cool stuff around New York City. And there is no other pizza. There is no other pizza that can compete with New York City pizza. Just saying. Just saying. Okay. But that is Nikki Knows Facts. Well done, darling. That was some good stuff right there.
Thank you, Nikki.
And we will look forward to next week's, which is 1790 to 1804. That'll be an interesting one.
Interesting.
Yep. All right. Well, Mr. Steve, I told everybody, I primed them that I believe your segment is going to hit at the heartstrings, and everybody will see why in just a moment. So,
Man, I
Mr.
hope
Ryan,
I can do it.
Yep, let's do it. Let's kick
I
it
can
off.
go shoot me a buffalo.
Nope.
Stay out of my garbage can. Dad, I'll keep it to myself.
I love it.
This is going to be on some of, just leave that one up there for just a second, Ryan, if you don't mind.
That's a massive hog.
Yes.
Ooh.
This is going to be on some of America's great working dogs. This right here, when I talked last week about my grandson shooting a giant bar, it's not a boar. It is a bar. There's a difference.
Is that like Warsh?
No. Now, there is a difference, okay?
Okay.
Mr.
A
Charlie,
boar.
are y'all washed in the blood?
We're washed in
Now
the blood.
listen to this, okay? A boar is one that has all of his male faculties. A bar is one that is like a steer.
No way.
Yes.
He's been
Yes, wait.
circumcised.
No.
No, he's
No.
had his
He's had the important
He's been-
parts
He's been-
his male
have been snipped.
yes.
So
Like a
Can't believe
steer.
we're just-
okay, now
Or a
explain to
stallion.
me how does that happen if he's in the
his
wild? Okay,
mountain
yeah.
oysters cut out.
And how? And he's in the wild?
Yes.
How does that happen?
Okay, folks.
people,
hold
this
on.
is what we
Folks,
do.
If you've got children in
People
the
will
room,
catch them with a dog, cut them when they're small, less than 100 pounds, and turn them back loose.
Why?
To get them like that,
Oh.
so they'll get up to about 200 to 300 pounds.
To make them bigger.
To make them bigger.
Does that have to do with testosterone?
So that they don't have the testosterone in them, and it makes them excellent to eat. But the thing is that the meat is so much better because they live in the wild and they eat all
the
of the
good
other
stuff.
good stuff in the wild, and then they don't have all the testosterone in them like a bull would have.
Do they tag them
Well,
so they know
no,
where they
we got
are?
to keep going. We got to keep
But
going.
Let's go. Let's
I have
keep
que-
going.
I have
I know you have questions. You're going to
We'll
have to
talk
ask
later.
them later.
Okay, but there be monsters in the woods, so that size of pig, those kinds of things. That one was about. Put that up real quick again. That is about 300 pounds plus. Okay, so these kind of things do walk around in the woods.
He could have fed about 300 people.
Oh, guaranteed, you could feed an army with that thing.
Yep.
Most definitely.
All right, we got to meet Jake.
Yes, this here is a dog that I had raised, and he was a dog that I had bred and raised from a baby and raised him to be my catch dog.
Okay.
And I rode him around on my four-wheeler on the front, and when we would get so close to where the fine dogs, or like the bay dogs, were baying up hogs, I'd take him off, put a leash on him. We'd walk so close, and then I'd take the leash off of him, and he'd run 100 yards or so, catch the hog, and then we'd run up and then go grab the hog by the tail and tie him up like a pig.
Yep.
Or like a cow.
Yep.
And we would catch these pigs live. We wouldn't.
You heard it, folks.
We wouldn't kill them. We
You
would
heard it.
catch them live. Okay.
That's how crazy Steve is.
We would catch them live. And this little dog weighed about 60 pounds, and I have seen him catch pigs that were 300 plus pounds, man.
Wow.
That's a good dog.
Oh, he was something else. Man, that dog was good. He was really good.
We need the next one, Ryan, because this
Next
pig
one,
here needed a wash.
Yes. We caught this one
A little shampoo would have
in
been
a mud hole.
Yeah.
Big time. This one here was probably about 275, and he was in a mud hole. He was so hard to grab a hold of, and he is actually still alive. That pig right there is not dead. He is still alive. And if you look, you can kind of look at his lips and see the big old teeth on him.
Yep.
I think he had about 3.5, 4-inch teeth on him. He was big old heavy hog. It took about 4 of us to get him on that four-wheeler right there.
Golly.
So what you do with him when you count him?
Eat him.
But you said he's still alive. So what?
Yes, we'll end
In
up
the picture.
killing him, and then
Oh,
some
he's
of the
still alive
guys-
in the picture.
Yes, in that picture, he's still alive.
Okay. Okay.
And we have guys that will take the boars off, the big boars, and they'll take them and take them to a market and sell them, and then those people take it and sell the meat overseas
Oh, wow. Wow.
because they love that meat over there.
Okay.
And here we just usually eat, the better meat,
Good
this
stuff.
kind of thing. So
Next cut, Ryan.
this here is another working
That's
dog.
a precious dog right
Yes.
there.
I've raised black labs before, trained about 3 or 4 different labs. I've done a lot of duck hunting and goose hunting. One of my favorite times with the black lab I had, her name was Casey. We would go goose hunting. Man, that dog was ferocious on those geese. They'd be out there 100 yards trying to run off. Boy, she'd take them,
after
tackle them, and bring them back to you.
Boy, I
that
tell you,
dog was great.
If there
man.
was, for me,
Absolutely
this is
wonderful.
me. If I were going to have a dog, I would want a black lab or a German shepherd. I would lean toward the black lab.
labs are just
they're incredible
fabulous dogs.
Incredible dog.
Yes, they are fabulous dogs.
And speaking of German shepherd,
Speaking of them, and I have also owned German shepherds. My father, when I was really young, my father when he was in the military, he trained German shepherds, And then when I was a young lad, he trained shepherds also. And we had shepherds up till the point to while I was in junior high. And shepherds are just fabulous guard dogs, fabulous home dogs, and they can be some of the best guard dogs that you can have in a home.
I think if I were going to have one,
so
it'd have
good
to
with
be,
kids.
It would have to be a female.
They're really females are
Males are a little more. What do I want to say?
They will have a
unpredictable at times.
tendency to
A little more
try
aggression.
to be against the male to fight for dominance.
Yep.
Not fight you, but want to like say, hey, me and you
I'm
are
alpha.
like, yeah. And that's normal in the animal kingdom. I mean, it just happens, you know.
Yep.
And then the next one, I just loved this picture. I had to
That
put
is
it.
great.
This looks so cool, man. How would you like to come to your door, open your door, and your kid's standing there, and you see this with all of these German shepherds?
If I were going to meme this thing, I know what I would do. I would have a thing at the top that says, "Do you have any questions?"
I mean, my gosh, what kind of best guard system could you
I
have for your
love that
child?
picture. I love that picture.
I know I saw that and I said, oh, man, I got to put that in. That is just absolutely great.
That's one that I may need to have you send that to me. I just love that. That is a great picture.
And then, Ryan, this one last picture here is a catch vest. Okay, now I want y'all to realize the bulldog that I had on my four-wheeler does not run around and catch wild boar with big teeth with nothing on. These vests right here is what he wears when he goes and catches wild boar. Actually, these vests I personally made with a sewing machine that I have. It's not like a regular sewing machine you use. This is an industrial sewing machine that you use to make, heavy duty sewing. And I've got, patterns and all that, and I make
what's the material?
Vest. That material, believe it or not, is a filter that is used to filter water and wood pulp.
Really?
And it's normally about 3.5 to 4 inches thick. And when it is no longer usable, it's about probably 3/8 thick.
But it's tough stuff?
Oh, man, you can't stick a knife through it.
Wow.
And that's what makes it so good. It's what we call it is wet felt.
So what part of the body?
It is.
What part of the body are you
That's
covering?
going to cover the main
covering
torso
the
of the dog.
chest, the side of the ribs, and under his neck and his
Okay.
shoulders. Because the biggest part that gets hit is right along in the shoulders area and right along in here where they get hit most of the time, because they go up, catch the ear, and then the hog's hitting them with his teeth right up in the shoulder area. And
good stuff.
the lungs are right there, and those teeth will hit them, bam, right there and kill a dog that quick.
I'm glad to hear that you did that, though, because imagine it.
Yeah, I wouldn't run a dog without a vest at all.
Would love
Period.
to hear what you think is your favorite dog, breed of dog. I'm all for Labrador, so a black lab. So if you've got a favorite breed of dog, by all means, drop that in the chat.
Yes.
Real quick, and we'll pull that out and talk about that. Ryan, what's your favorite?
Oh gosh, I don't.
Do
know.
not say Chihuahua.
I
That
know
is
you
not that is not a work dog.
I know you got a favorite dog because you're a
He's going to go
animal person.
Chihuahua.
Our family's had so many dogs. My mom is dog crazy. We've kept so many dogs. I can't pick a favorite breed.
Oh, Michael J's funny.
Sorry.
Pugly Wuggly. Oh, that's funny. That's good. Pugly Wuggly.
We had we called it a bagel, part basset, part beagle.
A bagel. Hey, that is what we called it.
Yeah, that's
a
what we
bagel.
called it. And that dog was beautiful and sweet and wonderful.
Oh, I got to go a vote for a golden retriever.
Absolutely.
Australian Shepherd. That I'm not surprised by that. Yep.
Husky.
Oh, the Siberian Husky. Oh man.
Yeah.
If I were not
Huskies are
doing
nice,
a black
though.
lab, that's number 2 for sure. We got golden lab. We got terrier. My husband's service dog is a Chiweenie. Okay.
Chiweenie.
I'm almost afraid to ask. But thank you, Mrs. Texas Freedom Road. Appreciate that. Amawa. Okay.
Oh, German Shorthair. German Shorthairs are great bird dogs, man. That's a great bird dog.
How about that? Oh, a border collie. We had a collie growing up on the farm. Oh my. The ultimate in dogs. The ultimate in dogs. That dog was precious. Absolutely precious. Loved Tippy. That was good. Honestly, all of them.
Cane Corso.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. That's a big.
That's a
I
saddle
could use
them
some
up.
words
Saddle
to
'em
name
up.
that dog, but Cane Corsos are tough dogs. Those are something else.
Sons of Liberty is going with a properly bred German Shepherd. I'm with you there.
Yes.
I'm with you there. Australian cattle dog. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's too many shepherds
stuff.
that got hip problems now.
How do we feel about Dalmatians?
Well,
Because
so
if you asked me my favorite breed as a kid, it would have been a Dalmatian.
Dalmatian. Yep.
Because little Ryan was like, I want 101 Dalmatians.
To me, Dalmatians, they are, how do I want to word this? Because we've been talking about work dogs. Mm-hmm. I don't see a Dalmatian as a quote unquote work dog, but absolutely a really nice home dog to have in the house, around the house. So I could make a case for that. For that.
Well, they work at sitting on a fire truck real good.
Yes. That's a good work dog. We just made a case that they're a work dog. Just did it. Thank you very much.
And I got to say, I have worked with a lot of pit bulls before that are bred right and that are catch dogs, and they are some excellent dogs, but they got to be bred right. There are so many that are bred wrong, and I'll tell you what, they are horrible dogs.
I'm peeking over here on Rumble. By the way, if you're watching, you can catch us on D Live Sunday afternoons, 1 to 3 Central Time. You can catch us on D Live or Vaughn or on Rumble. I'm taking a look at Rumble. I've got a vote for a Shih Tzu. Ooh.
I've had 3 of those in my life.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's see. I'm going to jump over here to Vaughn here for a moment. Don't see.
Oh, Weimaraner. Weimaraners are pretty cool dogs.
Yep.
I've worked with Weimaraners before.
Yep. Very good. Guys, well, thank you very much for that. Steve, thank you for that segment. That's a really good segment. I trust that it tugged at your heartstrings a little bit. Probably gave you some memories of some good dogs that you had in your past. No, it did mine. But we are going to finish up the day doing something that we try to do on a fairly regular basis. We like to take a look at different songs that we believe in the importance of what goes in the ear gate.
Yes.
So sometimes we get caught up singing stuff that, what? Should we really be singing that? And so what Ryan does is he picks out some songs for us to take a look at, to kind of scrutinize a little bit more. And that's what we're doing today. Mr. Ryan, what do we got?
Today we will be looking at The Prayer by Aaron Watson. Any country fans out there may know who this is. This song was actually recommended to us, suggested we look at it today by my very own country music loving sister.
Oh, here we go. Applause. Thank you very much, Rachel.
Yeah, we tried to get
Golf
her.
applause.
We tried to get her on today, but she said no.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
doesn't like a camera. She doesn't like attention.
Yeah, no.
She doesn't like to talk in public too much, really.
But we're working on her. She's actually opening up more.
Well, that's
Yes.
good to hear.
I keep telling her, like, she's a very pretty shy person, but when she does speak, she's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I've written
Yeah.
down so many funny things that
Yep.
she's said, like,
Yeah.
but this is not the time for Rachel quotes today.
Yeah,
but,
we'll do another
maybe
segment on that in the
eventually.
future.
Yeah, for those that don't know, I write down every funny thing I hear. I've got all three people
He's
here
got
quoted.
a million of them.
Yes.
So we got the
But-
prayer by Aaron Watson.
Yes, we do. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're
Sidetrack
good.
there. I got excited about my quotes. Anyway, so let's dive in here. Start on the chorus. Starts off, my mountain is a molehill. My throne's a busted chair. This crown is turned to rust and it's all tangled in my hair. This high horse that I ride on is going to buckle at the knee. Upon my castle made of sand, I cannot be the king of me.
I'll tell you what, folks, if you've not listened to this song, I would encourage you to head over to your favorite listening platform and check this song out. I know that when I first listened to this, I was listening to this song. The melody and everything just it hits.
Oh, definitely.
It definitely hits. When you think through these lyrics, you go,
I was going to ask y'all, like, first glance, just looking at that chorus for the first time, like, what are y'all thoughts? What do you think the song is even about?
well, when I see the mountain is a molehill, the throne's a busted chair, this crown is turned to rust, and it's all tangled in my hair, that's somebody that is really humbly acknowledging they ain't half of what they think they are.
Yeah.
That's the thought that goes through my mind. And when you finish it out, this high horse that I ride on is going to buckle at the knee. Upon my castle made of sand, I cannot be the king of me. That is the ultimate close.
I am I'm a humble guy, and man, I ain't nowhere near what.
This is an incredible
Right.
chorus.
Oh, yeah.
It really is. And I don't know what his past is. I don't know what his story is.
From the little research I've done on him, he grew up in a Christian family, went to a Christian school, apparently, but I haven't looked deep enough into him to know, like, how seriously he takes
I would love to have him
But
in front of us to ask him.
Yeah, but from looking at some of his other songs, doing research for this episode, this song review, he hasn't said anything like super heretical, anything that makes me.
Yeah.
Do you know if he had a rough past of any kind?
I don't believe so. No. But like looking at his other songs, country songs usually. My brother-in-law says country songs are about three things: girls, trucks, and alcohol.
Yeah.
His songs, just from the few I looked at, not really any alcohol mentioned, not really anything like typical country songs. I mean, he sings about his wife a decent amount.
Well,
nothing wrong with that.
Right. I will say this. I'm totally impressed with the chorus. Mm-hmm. The more I look at that, to me, it really is a great place of acknowledging the importance of humility and who we really are in the grand scheme of things. And I think that's what that chorus does. So take us to the first verse there.
Also, one more thing I want to mention about the chorus is that castle made of sand line probably reference. I'm pretty sure this is what it's referencing. The foolish man builds his house on the sand, quite possibly.
Yep.
Love that.
Yes.
Then getting into the first verse here, there's the man in white. His words are painted red. There's power in his blood and only truth in what he said. There's the man in black with a needle in his vein, lying flat upon his back. This is the prayer that he once prayed.
Wow.
Now,
that is just it just there's strong imagery here.
Yeah.
Really strong imagery here. This is again one of those things where I wished I had him here to ask him, because there's always a story in it, right? I mean, it's really hard to get everything into a song that you really want to put, but
I
still
really
communicate
wish
it.
my sister Rachel was here because she could probably tell us a lot about
It-
this
it would be
guy,
great.
about any country artist.
I do want to acknowledge one thing, Melissa Perez on the chat. Perez, do you guys know you can play it in 27-second increments? Stop for discussion. A, I did not realize that. B, we need to speak with John Arthur about that. I don't want to be playing on the edge of any legalities.
Right,
So, and we take that stuff. We try to take that stuff really seriously. But I do appreciate that suggestion, and we will bring it up. Again, I want to just tell everyone, you might want to go to your favorite platform and listen to this song. It really, it's a nice song. Nice song. All right, keep going, Ryan.
One thing for me real quick, Mr. Charlie, I know you mentioned I wish he was here in front of us to talk about it and kind of give us a bit more detail and clarify on some things in the song. That's just one tiny problem I have with this song is it's not always super clear what he's talking about. Like the man in black needle in the vein, like I could guess what that's about, but I'm not entirely sure. And that's one problem I have with a lot of songs, like they're not clear. And I wish artists would release line by line explanations of
yeah,
the
and I would say this to me, and I don't know, my gut tells me that he either witnessed this or knows the story of this, and it's closely related to a friend or family. That's my gut. You make a very good point. Don't know. It sure would be nice, and I would totally agree with that. I'm not going to be too critical on that. You're right. It would be nice to know. It really would.
Like I said, it's a small thing, but clarity, giving as much clarity as you can is pretty good.
Yep. Keep going.
Verse 2, and this harem in my heart is filled with hot metal and fool's gold. Watch your statue turns to dirt. All that's left in the end is your soul. God save your soul. So he said, shout out of control with all your heart and soul. Though this cold world may tear you apart, let the whole world know.
Interesting verse.
Now that verse,
there's a lot
more
in
of my
that.
issue where I'm not entirely sure what he's talking about there.
My first thought is that he's talking about standing when you are standing up for Christ, and the world tears you apart for it. That's what my first thought was. Don't know.
I thought the first part of that, in this harem in my heart, is filled with hot metal and fool's gold. That's interesting. You know, what do you mean by that? But again, I want to go back. He ends with the chorus, and it's a strong chorus.
Oh, yes.
My mountain is a molehill. My throne's a busted chair. This crown is turned to rust. It's all tangled in my hair. This high horse that I ride on, it's going to buckle at the knee. Upon my castle made of sand, I cannot be the king of me.
And then let's look at the ending real quick. Let's see. Lord, I am just a man. I cannot be the king of me. I'm nothing. We are nothing compared to Christ.
Yeah. Boy, that is strong song right there.
Yeah,
Ryan,
it's pretty decent.
I thought
actually.
that was a pretty good pick on Rachel's part. I'm glad you ran with that, and thank you for getting that put together. We'll look forward to some more fun ones.
Of course. And if there's any songs y'all would like us to look at, any y'all recommend, please tell us, and we'll write it down.
We'll break them down. We'll be honest in what we think.
Yes, we will.
So just an FYI.
Just be warned.
Yeah. Yep.
Be warned.
We definitely will. So anyway, that's great. We're gonna close up the show today, and really want to thank you for joining us, and get some final thoughts as we go around the room here. So, my darling, what do you think? We've packed a lot in here today.
Well, I did say last week I wasn't too worried about the tariffs and the Supreme Court decision, and I think that's going to come out to play. That I think Trump feels more like they gave him a way to make his tariff stronger. That's what seemed to say at the State of the Union address is that it was going to be stronger than what it was in the past. And I think he has a right to do what he's doing. I really think that America needs to get out of debt, and that's one good way of doing it. I did say earlier that with Iran, I think Iran will fall this week. And I do think that this is not going to turn out to be anything long term. Now, can I be wrong? Sure. And I don't mind being wrong, but that's the way I see it at the moment.
But Miss Nikki, what are you going to do if you're right?
I'm going to rub it in Charles' face.
I'll tell you in a moment what she's talking about
Wednesday.
So
Yeah.
I do think this is going to be good for Trump. I think this is going to be good for the Middle East. And another reason I think Iran won't stand is because they have angered their neighbors. And so I think
they have done.
Yeah, they have too much against them. And with their supreme leader gone, they're going to be in disarray. And I really do think that when you are attacking and killing thousands of your own people, even in the hardest situation, people stop and think, what are we doing? What are we doing? And I think that's where some of those probably soldiers over there are.
Yep. Mr. Steve.
Yeah, I kind of think what I'm thinking is that, with the incident that's going on over there with Iran and what Trump's been doing, I think we need to kind of step back and take a look on what the possibilities on what might happen here, because we do know that we've had tons of people come over the border, the northern border, the southern border, all kinds of ways come into this
Not too many
country.
people talk about the northern border.
Right. And from various countries, and we know we've had people come in from Iran and other people that are not friendly to this country, and that have said that if we have any kind of conflict with Iran, that they would react in some way or another. And, like lone wolf acts and stuff like this,
Yep.
These type of incidences, doing stuff at various places that have lots of people or churches or whatever that may be. And I just think people need to stay on their toes.
I do too. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Be aware of what's going on. And if you're someone who has a concealed carry, or if you live in a state that allows you to carry without a license, I suggest you carry your gun all the time.
I think that's good advice.
That's
Good advice.
They
my opinion.
They are concerned about sleeper cells.
Yes.
That remember, Biden let these people in
Yep.
unfiltered,
Bunch.
unvetted,
Yes.
and now we're stuck dealing with it. And if the Dems come back and try to blame Trump for this, that you're suffering from Trump deranged syndrome.
Correct.
Yep.
And my opinion is, I think anybody who's able to, and in a state that they're able to, should carry a firearm. My opinion.
Mr. Ryan.
I thought we had a pretty good episode today. I enjoyed looking at the Federalist Papers by Hamilton. Once again, just amazes me how appropriate it is and how it ties to today and speaks to what's going on today a lot. Miss Nikki's facts, starting to go through American history and celebration of America's 250th birthday. Love talking about dogs, of course, and then it was actually pretty decent song we looked at today. I was surprised because it's a country song. Country Christian
Didn't
songs
expect
don't,
that.
Don't
Yeah.
tend to be very,
Yep.
very, very good. So, but I really enjoyed everything we talked, every segment, everything we talked about today.
Okay, so all right, let me.
got
This is
somebody
Texas
that's
Freedom
suggested
Road. So take a look at that comment there, Ryan, if you get a moment. Can you do it, or you want us to grab it?
Can you grab it for me?
Yeah. Holy Spirit, Come to Me by Julie Hoy. For your thoughts, Mr. Ryan. Holy Spirit, Come to Me. Okay, we'll take a look at that. Thank you very much for
Writing
that.
that down.
Mrs. Texas Freedom Road. Really appreciate that. Also, for all of you that share the thank yous online, we do appreciate that. We see that. We're grateful for it. And what we try to do is we try to provide a link to the history of our nation. And we believe our nation was founded on truth and on biblical values, and we're not afraid to state those things. So I trust that we've given you a little bit more to look at and consider on that. Thank you for joining us today. In terms of my closing thoughts, I'll say this, and Miss Nikki she's brought out something really interesting on the Iran picture. She thinks it'll fall this week. Very well could, and I will not deny that. That is absolutely a possibility. From a biblical lens, I'm not 100% convinced that will be the case. And because ultimately the thing that triggers the week of tribulation, if you will, the 7 years, is going to be Israel begging for peace and signing a quote unquote covenant and for that peace. That's what I'm looking at. And who has been the biggest thorn in the side of Israel? Iran. There is no other nation. Yes, Syria has been a headache for sure. I do not disagree with that. But if you talk about threat, Iran has been just that. Saudi Arabia could be. Maybe in the end they are. I won't deny that either. But when it comes to the biggest security threat, Iran has been it. So I'm not sure that Iran falls per se. We'll see. All I know is that we are one day closer to Jesus coming back, and that I am grateful for, and I look forward to indeed. We are just a couple minutes ahead. Holy cow! How did I do that? I finished a couple minutes early.
Wow.
That's something that I guess when it comes to being on time, I believe in being early. Being on time is late. That's my belief. But nonetheless, thank you all again for joining us. And if John Arthur's listening, we'll look forward to seeing you back soon.